Swastiastu. Today I'm gonna have a presentation about heat treatment of steel. This is my theory of the metallurgy. My name is Putu Januartha Putra, and I'm from Teknik, Universitas Udayana and Teknik Mesin, Fakultas Teknik. The professor, the teaching me is Professor Dr. Tjokorda Tirta Nindhia STMT. So this is my presentation about Metalurgi heat treatment of steel. Now next, the main reference I use is the book about metallurgy for the non-metallurgists, the second edition. Next, this is the contents about chapter 9. Chapter 9 have 10 contents, 10 chapter. So the first is the iron carbon system. Second is common phase in the steel. Third is critical temperature and transformation diagrams. 4 is annealing and normalizing. 5 is types and annealing treatment. 6 is furnace heating and induction heating. 7 hardening and tempering. 8 cold treating and steel. 9 chest hardening. 10 is heat treatment equipment. The next. First is 9.1, the iron carbon system. Steel are irons with a smaller amount of the carbon alloy. Iron by itself has a limited structural usefulness because it is soft. Much like the pure metals, one way to increase the strength of a pure metal is to add a properties allowing metal for solid solutions technique. Carbon plays an important role in the heat treatment because it is expand the temperature range of obtained stability. Higher carbon content, lower and temperature need to oxidize steel, such as that iron atoms arrange themselves to form on FCC latent structure. Under normal conditions, alternate cannot exist at the room temperature in the plain carbon steel, but only at elevated temperature within the austenate area G, bound by the lens AGFED in the figure 9.1. The next figure 9.1. The next carbon is almost insoluble in infrared because the interstitial optional available in the BCC that tanks are not large enough to accommodate it. However, carbon is more soluble in outside because the larger interstate in the FCC letters, like the figure 9.2, are considerably more accommodating to carbon. The solubility limit of carbon in infrared varies from 0.008 BTA% at -80 Celsius or 0 Fahrenheit to a maximum solubility limit of 0.0232 BTO% at 727 Celsius or 1340 Fahrenheit. Next, this is figure 9.2. Next, a different mechanism of the phase transformation occurs when steel is separately cooled equated from the authentic phase back down to the room temperature. During rapid convection, there is not enough time for the carbon atom to arrange themselves by diffusion. Therefore, some or all of the carbon atom get trapped in the ferrated lattice. Because the composition to rise well above 0.02% solubility of carbon in evaporated. This causes a lattice destruction so much so that this created BCC literally rapidly. Transformation into a new metastabilic phase called martensite phase. The unit shell of the martensite crystal is similar to the BCC unit shell. Expect that one of its edge, called the C-axis, like a picture 9.3, is longer than the other two. This picture 9.3. 9.2 common phase in the steel. Heat treatment of the steel required an understanding of both the equilibrium phase and the stable phase at the occur during heat and or cooling. For steel, the stable equilibrium phase includes the flammable austenite graphite and to some extent commonly as a very stable iron carbonate. The stable phase are perlite, martensite, and bienite. The phases are summarized in the table 9.1. This is 9.1 table. Let's see. This is phase, this is crystal structure, and this is the characteristic. And the next 9.2.1 chemistite and perlite formation. The equilibrium iron-carbon phase in the diagram applies when the temperature is in constants or when heating and cooling rates are slow enough to coincide equilibrium or isothermal condition. The extent and the shape of the chematite formation depend on the amount of the carbon and thermal history. As described subsequential, the discussion center of the transformation of the austenite in the steel with three types of the level of carbonation alloying. First is eutectoid steel with carbon content near to equator point of 0.77%, point G in the picture 9.1. Hypoquartite steel with carbon content below the equation combustion. Hyperoid steel with carbon content above the aquated combustion. Next. If still with equated combustion of the exponent 0.77% Celsius is slowly cooler below 727 Celsius. Then a fretted and commentary phase separate almost simultaneously to produce a microstructure of the device deflected plated like picture 9.4. This distributed microstructure of the steel is called a perlite. This name is based on the work of the father modern metallurgy Henry Clevin Sogley from the 1826 to 1706. How describe steel as having a mother of the April apprentice. Toward the end of the 19th century, very fine perlite was still sulfur in the light microscope of the day, and so it was referred to as subinite in the horrors of survey. This is picture 9.4. And the next. Hypoquartite steel is less than 0.77% Celsius are called hypoquartite steel. When low carbon steel with up to 0.30% Celsius are medium carbon steel with 0.30 to 0.60 Celsius are slowly cooler than the acoustic phase. Some low-carbon ferritite forms with along a phosphate grain abundant of the two-phase G plus E region of the phase diagram. I got a picture 9.58. Hyperitoid steel is cooled from 100% aqueous carbon solid solution. I got pictures 9.56, picture 9.5A and B. And this is commented from first along operand's aqueous grain abundance of the G plus Fe3C region during slow cooling from G. This is protectoid phase develop of meteorology similar to the hypertectoid steel, but the furnace is the commentator. Hypertectoid steel are also referred as a ferrite steel, including of the wet ferrity of the carbon steel and the alloy steel. There are some commonly ultra-low carbon steel which have the completely ferritic structure. The most common structural steel products have a mixed ferritic perlite and microstructure. Their applications include the beam of the bridge and the high-grade wheels plate of the ships and referencing pier for the roadways. There is still a relatively expensive space and are produced in the large tonnage. They also have the advantage to being able to produce with the weight range and properties with varying amount of the variant of the iron and the iron caminated depending of the carbon content. Look at the picture 9.6. 9.6 picture. Graphization and the formation of the separated combination are completely mixing of the petalite decomposition. This rate of the decomposition is the temperature dependent of the both mechanism, and the mechanism have the different activity energies as shown in the picture 9.7. 9.7 picture. Graphitization of the visual mode and the petalite decomposition at the temperature below approximately 550 Celsius or 1025 Fahrenheit, and the formation of semperedal combination can be expected to permanent at higher temperature. Considered at 1059, still it's 0.95 percent Celsius. Received from the steel mill, or if the steel is heated to 760 degrees Celsius or 1400 degrees Fahrenheit, to temperature compression point will be in the picture 9.8. 9.8 picture. At the open cycle with the horizon around line passing above it, because the temperature compression point less in the other two phase. We can label G plus Gm. This is still most excited and mixture of external having compression 0 or 0.85% Celsius, and sedimentary of the compression P is 6.70 C. The diagram does not describe what the microstructure will look like. However, experiments show that the microstructure will be as illustrated at the bottom of the picture 9.8. All of the centimeter appearance of the small specifically shaped grains distributed very randomly over the stated grain, which have much longer size and typical convection grain above this. The discovery between the Between the accommodation page, illustration by shading in the reference definitely in the light microscope, metallography, and electron microscopy. Like in the picture 9.9, other the contract techniques such as color metallography also can be structured faded from the carbonate phase. This is picture 9.9. Next, 9.2.2 Martensite. As a note, Martensite is a measurable structure formed during rapid cooling of the outer's night. Unlike the isothermal deposition of the phase continued by diffusion, is not a phase associated with the thermal equilibrium. Third, it does not appear of the iron carbon phase diagram. In a contract the machine is of metallic transformation is a diffusion process where the rapid change is temperature causes the shear displacement of the atom and the differential atomic movement of less than 1 electron spacing. The transformation is a sudden of the synthetic shifting or sharing around atom into a BGT structure. Because the BGC later cannot accommodate all the carbon isolated the prior protected base. Type of the characters by the acquired structure in the furnace and the non-furnace alloys in the alloys where the isolated atom not is the clear position in the metal. Metal such as carbon in the iron, the structure is very hard and the high strength. But when the isolated atom is probably substitutional option such as nickels in iron, the metal is soft and ductile in the steel. The hardest mechanism in the fabric of the carbon contains like a picture 9.10. 9.10. Next. The high characteristic is dual of the fact of the BGT structure of metalsite is less densely packed than outersite, and also affected to a lesser extent. This result is a volumetric expansion at the M-ish with temperature, like the picture 9.11, picture, and like lesson distraction, which provide a stress or hardness by impeding the skeletal movement. During cooling, when the steel is the FF temperature, the mixture transformation causes like a picture 9.11, and any reference G is referred as to after the night. Next, as the start temperature also affects carbon content like in the picture 9.12. This is picture 9.12. Measure the unfold and the tunnel before. The microstructure of the metal in the steel has a different morphologies. It may appear as the ether lead mestension or the plate mestension. Like the picture 9.13, plate mestension as the name indication form as the vector lead shape prescribed with the zigzag fragment of the small plate. Picture 9.13. Red mestension as form of carbon content greater than 1.0%, while later mestension from at carbon content up to approximately 0.6%. A mixed metallicity microstructure from the carbon content between 0.6 or 1.0%. The microstructure of the plate container have the surrounding region of the austenite, which a render of the white region surround of the plates, like a picture 9.14. 9.14 picture with next. The plate microstructure is not 100% of the microstructure is a more distant in the micrographic and the LED mixer side like a picture 9.15. This 9.15 picture, The relative ability as a famous alloy of the form is called hardability. Hardability is commonly measured measured as the distance below a quiet surface at which the metal habitat as affecting hardness 50 Rockwell C hardness for the example or the specific percentage as martensite and the microstructure fresh martensite as the removed from the test batch can be very between if the carbon content is greater than the exponential 0.2 to 0.3%. Next. This, this breathless can be removed with some loss at the hardness if the equipment still is acting slightly in the process known as tempering pictures 9.16. So the decision is not hardened with temperating temperature for the number of carbon level. Plain carbon or low alloy martensitic steel can be tempered in a low or high temperature range, depending on the balance property and requirement. Next, alloying effect and the temperating response. In terms of tempering, alloying element can be helped retain the degree of the softening during tempering. Container elements are more effective than the other. The metal combination produced from this element are harder that maintains like a picture 7.17, 9.17 is the 9.17 picture, and have a fine of dispersion because of the diffusion of the combination forming element is more sluggish than the diffusion of the carbon. The lower diffusion rate is combination forming element habit of the crossing of Fa3Cm to return at the rate of the softer temperature. The next 9.2.3 Benite. Benite is the combustible phase in the steel of the core when the cooling rate is not rapid enough to produce metals, but the steel fast enough to that carbon does not have enough time to defense of frame pearlite. Most like pearlite, the consular phase benite are framonite and camentite. Like benite from octaves first long that all attach grain abundance. Concurrently, at the fast cooling rate will be continuously long as the old aqueous grain bodies with the pearlite forming in the place and some place benite forming other place as the illustration in the picture 9.18. This is picture 9.18. The benite is the lighter concealer drawing out of the bright alternate grain the abundance. A thin white line set a set along the old alternate grain abounded on the micrograph. This illustration is different internal structure beneath and the pearlite. 9.3 critical temperature and the transformation diagram. The critical temperature of the steel defines the onset of the complaint of the phase transformation. Three important critical temperatures in a steel heat treatment are A1 is critical temperature from the start of the transformation to alternate and the so-called alternate temperature, which is minimum temperature requirement of the alternate to form A1 is also referred to as the low critical temperature. A3 critical temperature is complete transformation for the A plus 2 phase maximum into 100% alternate degree. Deformation referred to as the upper critical temperature. A3 is the higher temperature abundant with A plus a solid solution phase region of the carbon content below to the compression of 0.77% C. HCM critical temperature for the completed transformation of the G plus Fe3 to phase maximum to into 100% alternated G. The HCM critical temperature is a high temperature abundant of the component in the solid solution with its accelerated extra hyperconcert steel. It says G more than 0.77% Celsius. The next one important factor is either of the steel being heated and cooler at that what rate? Because the diffusion is slightly in the solid rate. The rate is hitting the cooling can be important factor in determining the critical temperature for the both outset and the completion equilibrium transformation. Therefore, sometimes the subscription C, R, and E are included of the denoted heating, cooling, equivalent, and condition, like a table 9.3. 9.3. This is table 9.3. And next. For the given steel, the critical temperature depending on the whether the steel is being heated or cooled. In the practical, critical temperature occurred at the lower temperature during cooling that during heating and depending on the rate change temperature. Like a table 9.4 provide approximate critical temperature for the scale steel, mostly heating and the cooling rate of 28 derajat Celsius or H or 50 derajat Fahrenheit for Celsius for heat. And this is table 9.4. The transformation diagram. The kinetic aspect in the phase transformation are as important of the equilibrium diagram of the heat treatment still can treatment a thought really of the use of TTT diagram. This is are development by brain and where its basis of standing of condition beneath the formation of the cell. Continuous cooling diagram plot phase information as function of the cooling rate, like a picture 9.22. This is 9.22 picture. This type diagram is very useful because the cooling rate are key process factor of the equation or the cooling operation. In fact, CCT diagram may also plot cooling rate in the same size reaction size and cooling medium, like a picture 9.22. Next, 9.4 Annealing and the normalizing. Heat treatments are not limited to just hardening and tempering. Various annealing and the method of the useful in the developing more informed of microstructure and the other combination of the properties such as the ductility, formability, and the machinability. Analyzing thermal cycles. Analyzing cycles are varied according to the temperature and the method of use of cooling use. Annealing temperature may be classified as subcritical annealing below of the lower critical temperature A1, intercritical annealing above H1 but below the upper critical temperature A3 in the hypercritical steel or IGM in the hypercritical steel. Supercritical annealing to achieve full aqueous anticipation of the either hypo or hypoaquatic steel. Next. For the annealing, the temperature for the annealing are the typical 15 derajat Celsius or 90 derajat Fahrenheit above the upper critical temperature. A3 for the hypoaquatic steel are the lower critical temperature. A1 for the hypoaquatic steel, like in the picture 9.23. This is 9.23 picture. It is referred to as full annealing because it is achieved full antonization of the hypoaquatic steel. The induction temperature for full annealing are supercritical annealing for the hypoaquatic steel, but are in the range of the industrial annealing and hypoaquatic steel. Next, 9.5 types of the annealing treatment. Annealing treatment have the various metallurgical purposes such as stress refill, recycle standardization, and the spheroidization, like a picture 9.24. This is 9.24 picture. The figure also include of the temperature region for the normalization of the steel, which is at heat treatment to improve the humidity of the steel mixture. Stratified annealing and the subcritical temperature below IG1, including 3 different temperature regions, like a picture 9.24. The first of the temperature range of the stress leveling annealing. Stylization, allowing when cold worker metal are heated at severely high temperature and badly on deformation cold worker, a grain of the replacement by new straight-free grains. Recyclation, allowing it to still is done of subsequent temperature, like at picture 9.24. Normalization of the steel. Steel as normalization of the rectangular grain size make its structure more uniform, make it more impressive and to hardening and to improve matchability. Normalization is the alternation heating cycles following by cooling in the steel of the slightly greater air. Typical the temperature for normalizing, like the figure 9.24, are approximately 55 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit above the upper critical line, that is above the IG3 for hypertoroid steel and above RGM for the hypertoroid steel. Next, to be properly classified as the normalization treatment, the heating process in this process must be produced homogeneous authentic phase prior to cooling, like a figure 9.25. This is figure 9.25. Compression of the time temperature cycle of the normalization to the full analyte. Next, 9.6 furnace heating and the induction heating. Heat treatment of the steel in forward of the wide variety of the metal of the underlying normalizing, hardening, and the tempering. Fuel fire for the electrical heating furnace or the using a wide variety of the configuration with the various media. Furnace heating treating for furnace can be generally classified as the batch of a continuous furnace. Batch type furnace where load of placed in the furnace. The furnace as is load for the brought up to temperature together. And depending of the process, the furnace may or may not be a cooler because it is opponent of the load of the movement. Continuous type of the furnace which is operated in intercroative cycles are the worker pass over the stainless health or the heart itself moves. Induction heating is another important method of the heating composition of the furnace technique. Induction heating can be often prefer energy saving for the much higher heating rate and the convection radiation condition or the even flame infection process. Heating is the major application during heating with the several heat hardening or the steel can be cause or the most frequent use. However, induction heating also applies to annoying and normalizing, torque hardening, tempering, and the stress leveling of the variety of or the workpiece. Boxer furnace and like a fixture at 29.26 are basically type of the batch of furnace. This is a picture of 29.26 and the next it is more popular configuration allow the horizontal loading like the figure 9.27. Figure 9.27. Next. Vertical loading like the figure 9.26 it is of the workpiece into the furnace. This is the figure 9.26. Next, still harder equipment may be included each system remote from the information inside intelligent equipment IQ furnace like the figure 9.29. This is figure 9.29 in IQ furnace main house furnace work top of the models and the equipment of the boiler into the equipment construction and of the IQ furnace is often similar to the of a box furnace with a manually operated door or the confidently or the lower head and the equipment tank and the discharge and work drop in the equipment is brought out by industrial metal which metal conveyor. The basic component industrial heating system are induction coil, the alternative content, the AC power up ability, and the workpiece itself. The coil which may take a different shape depending of the equipment heating pattern is connected to the power supply or so that magnetic field is the genetic form the conductive law like a fiction 9.30. 9.30 the magnetic is the field depending the stage and the connection and the number of turns of in the coil of if in the magnetic condition of the place inside the coil with the varying contact the varying magnetic field independently connect within the object according to the law and the electromagnetic induction. Next, the heating is very accelerated process limited only by imagination power and physics. Competitive range when localized hardening like a figure 9.31. 9.31 figure. Next, the heat increase labs like a figure 9.32 because the secondary radiation of radiant heat is reduced and the induction process in inversion and production line area and like a picture 9.33 is 9.32 and it is 9.33. Next, effect of the heating rate is transformation temperature when the full underlying full alternation is a requirement of the one of the water factor, especially with industrial heating. The effect of heating rate is of the critical temperature Ag3 from the complete alternation with this is critical temperature depending of the heating rate. It's also depending on the microstructure condition of the workpiece as shown in the figure 9.34 for the Ag3 temperature for the 1042 carbon steel. 9.34. Next, 9.6, 9.7. Hardening and the tempering. Hardening is still information to step on the synchronization of the tempering. Sometimes an additional step as a cooling technique is done to low temperature below the machine finished temperature of the steel. This is increase stock metallurgy transformation and the minimization of the standard obstinate questioning preference up to the process of directly cooling metal apart from the outer solution treating temperature. Interrupted questioning reference of the rapid cooling of metal from the aqueous temperature to the at point above the MS where it's holding a specified period of the time following by cooling in the air. There is are three types of the interrupted aqueous outside tempering, McQuashing, metal tempering, and the outside isothermal aquating. The temperature which is quitting is interrupted in the large time of steel and the higher temperature, and the rate of cooling can vary depending on the vary of steel workpiece thickness, compression of directed, and the interrupted cooling cycles are shown in the picture 9.35. Next, this is picture 9.35. As noted, the temporary process can be related by the addition of the consistent alloy elements such as vanadium, molybdenum, magnesium, chromium, and the silicon. As a sample of the structure continuum temperature of the standard in the show in the picture 9.36, is combination cementite upward as the small black pitch particles. This is the 9.36 picture. Next, often obstacle of the metal proper to the distance between the proton and the benite. Picture 9.37 is micrograph and the steel of the metal mixtures of the some benite. Picture 9.37. Next, 9.8 quick treatment of the steel. Steel that does not completely submerge often may undergo a cold treatment or the cryogenic treatment. The figure 9.38 is 9.38 in order to increase the diving default sublimation to reach complement. Cold treating can be held completed sublimation alternate to the machinery in this way. Immediately cold treating without delay at the room temperature or at other temperature during equipment often the best opportunity to maximum transformation to fermentize. In some instances, however, there is a risk that will cause crack in the part. There is for it is important To ensure that the grade steel can reproduce, the sun will tolerate immediately cold treating ether than the immediately tempering. The next 9.9 case of hardening. Case hardening is kinetic term using several processes that put at a hard wearing surface layer at the part layer on the part. This is combination of other surface and the resistance of the breakage on the impact is usually in the parts such as cam in the ring gears have a very hard surface rings surface where along with a top nose interior assist the effect of the course during operation. The benefit is almost commonly a method of the hardening compared in the table 9.6 frame and the industrial hardener including limited conflict families of the steel such as medium carbon steel, medium carbon alloy steel, some cast iron, and the lower alloy steel. This is the table 9.3. 9.91.1 Diffusion of metal and the case hardening. Surface hardening diffusion involves a chemical modification of the surface. The basic process is used thermochemical because some heat needs to exchange of diffusion of hardening special into the surface of submersion region of a part. The depth in the diffusion habit or time temperature depending such as chase depth is equal key time. Where its temperature control the key dependent its temperature, the chemical composition of the steel and the conversion rate of given a hardening special. In the term of temperature is the temperature constant increases exponentially as the fancy of the absolute temperature. Concentration rate depending on the several kinetics and the reaction of particular process. Next. Factor influences stability and factor diffusion method include a type of steel like a picture 9.39, contact picture, polymer steel, double carbonate, and thin cell. Next, the shape of case hardness is like a picture 9.40, and the case of depth is 9.41. This is 9.40 picture. This is 9.41. Next. Treated steel are grinding medium carbon equipment and the temperature. Steel can be contained strong natural forming elements such as aluminium, chromium, vanadium, and the molybdenum. The most notable hardening achieved with a class of alloy steel, namely a type that converts 1% I. When the steel are nitride, the aluminum form IEN particles, which is strain of the afterlighted and the threaded straining. Titanium and chrome are also used to achieve chase hardenings, like a picture 9.32a. Other case the Dosen as alloy condition increased with a picture 9.42b. The microstructure are also influenced nativity because of preference of division of the nitrogen and because low combination contest prefer both diffusion and the case hardness usually alloy steel and the heating that equation and the temperature instead are using for nitrating. This is picture 9.42. Next 9.92 location of hardening process. One way that produces a part of the hard surface soft without altering compression in the use of steel with lower hardenability AE that one does not have thermal hardening capability. Other techniques include small hardening, flame hardening, and the increasing hardening. Flame hardening causing adjusting that surface steel heating and the oxidizing or hydrogen touch and immediately treatment in the water. The insert hardening layer must offer a softer interior core with a fertile structure. Induction heat is extremely fast where heating metal can be performed in uniform surface hardening. Location hardening, thermal hardening, and the temperature of the hardening piece. Induction Heating occurs for the operation at the correct with the half skin depth that independent improvement of the HC touch that case depend on the increased hardened part can be varied by frequency and the power. Like a picture 9.43, picture 9.43. The higher the frequency of the nerve on the slow, shallow and heating. Next. Because the heating is very influential of the case hardened steel, heating coil can be designed with wide variant configuration like the picture 9.44. Picture 9.44. Next. And single shot hardening metal like a picture 9.47. This 9.47. Scan hardening involving moving parts that includes coil with continuous application of a coils. Next. 9.10 Heat treatment equipment. In the simple treatment, industrial heating and furnaces and the design deeply heated water for the thermal processing. Basic elemental elements in the condition include a cell's outer shell, a flexible wall, heat proof, and such or the heat. Electrical accommodation fuel and the means of the capacity working load, moving the top in the furnace if the necessary, and the removing it. Alternative methods are classified by heating source, combination of the fuel, or by conversion of the electric energy of the heating, and by two breath category based on continuous purified accommodation type furnace are the most widely used in the but the particularly heated furnaces are used where the operant then cannot always be measured in the term of fuel cost. Batch furnaces are loaded with charge and the cost determines a stability heating cycle. After the cycle is complete, part may be cooled in the furnace after the heat turning off, or metals such as aquaculture in the water or oil may be used. The next particular furnace like a picture 948, it's a 948 picture, are basically of the one and in one and out the other type of and are only used to continue fundamental production. They can ability of the variant of the heat treatment. Next, sector air compression other name application employees move a piece stuck a furnace overhead that vibration by the electrical machine. Part of particular small and the electric compression is the tunnel like the door each at the end like a picture 9.49. 9.49. The next dependence condition a vacuum chamber which is a low water load. A special surface hardening takes place in the plasma of the condenser to glow discharge. A regulated voltage is applied between the chamber of working phase in the vacuum production is the inner training or car combustion plasma. The ground chamber is from the owners and the working place become the cancer. After fluctuation of the air and compressed gas, a nitrogen-hydrogen mixture of the gas nitrogen and a gas such as methane as the sort of the carbon of the combination is introduced and the voltage influence between unknowns and connected to the start of the corona start like a picture 9.50 picture. The reaction gas is also in the condensate concussion inhibitor of the combination ion of two accelerators toward the working place where the engagement clean and the diversion of the surface part of the kinetic energy is converted into thermal energy that heat the work uniformly. Next. And thank you. That's all the presentation I'm giving. And sorry about everything. Sorry about my giving this is very bad and very fast. I'm sorry and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye.